Hey everyone, Romeo here, a fellow Spanish language learner. In this video, I want to talk about a promise you've definitely seen before. Learn to speak Spanish from day one. It sounds motivating, it sounds empowering, and technically it can be true, but only because the word speak has been quietly redefined. When most people hear speak Spanish, they imagine holding conversations, responding naturally, understanding replies, and adjusting on the fly. This is not what this claim means. What it actually means is something much more narrower. You can produce sounds in Spanish from day one. And yes, of course you can. You can say hola, you can say me llamo, you can say como estás. You can repeat scripted phrases. But that's speaking in the same way that reading a line out loud is acting. It's vocalization, not communication. Here's why that distinction matters. If I teach you three phrases and you repeat them back to me, you are technically speaking Spanish. No one's lying about that. But the moment the situation changes, like even slightly, the illusion collapses. If someone responds faster than expected, switches the verb tense, or replaces one familiar word with an unfamiliar word, you freeze. Not because you can't pronounce Spanish, but because you don't control it. And control is the whole game. Here's a simple thought experiment. Imagine someone teaches you 10 Spanish sentences on day one. You practice them, you say them confidently. Now, imagine someone asks you to slightly modify one of those sentences. Change the subject, change the time, change the object. Most beginners can't. It's not because they're bad learners, but because they were only taught what to say and not how to say things, which matters because being taught how to say things is what allows you to build your own sentences. That's the flaw in phrase first learning. It creates fragile speakers. The speech works only as long as reality cooperates, and reality never does. This is also why you hear people say, I can speak Spanish a little, but I can't understand it. That's not a mystery, that's structural. Speaking without comprehension is parroting. Speaking with comprehension requires control. Now, let's be fair. Yes, you should speak early. Yes, you should use your voice. Yes, you should get comfortable making sounds. But making sounds is not the same thing as learning to speak. Learning to speak means generating language under pressure without scripts. And that ability doesn't come from day one. It comes from repetition, from recycling structures, from seeing the same patterns in different contexts, from recognizing them before recalling them, and from recalling them before producing them quickly. There is no version of this process that skips to fluency on day one. Speak from day one works as marketing because it gives beginners something tangible to do immediately, but it often replaces the quieter work that actually builds speakers. That's why someone can introduce themselves perfectly 100 times and still freeze when a conversation goes off script. They weren't trained for flexibility, they were trained for performance. Real speaking ability shows up when you can say something you've never practiced before using structures you've internalized. That's not exciting on day one. That's exciting on day 90. And this is where I draw a hard line. I don't promise that you'll speak from day one. I promise that if you follow a structured plan consistently, you will eventually speak Spanish without relying on memorized scripts. You will still make mistakes, you will still pause, and you will still translate sometimes. But you will recover, and that's the difference. If you want to say a few phrases on day one, great, do it, enjoy it. Just don't confuse pronunciation practice with language control. One is imitation, the other is system building. I have a full video that explains exactly how to build that system over a year, without hype, without shortcuts, and without pretending that early performance equals fluency. That video is linked right here, because speaking Spanish isn't about starting on day one. It's about still progressing on day 100. Anyway, if you're glad someone finally separated making sounds from actually speaking the language, give this video a like and share it with someone who needs that distinction. Until the next video, as always, good luck on your journey to building more functional, usable Spanish. Peace.